All right, today we're going to dive into something really cool, a powerful mental tool that's kind of like having a remote control for your own emotions. We're going to break down exactly how you can master this technique called stacking anchors.
I mean, seriously, haven't we all been there? You've got that huge presentation, a really tough conversation coming up, or maybe it's just one of those days where you need a serious boost. What if you could just flip a switch and feel exactly how you want to feel right when you need it the most?
Well, it turns out you actually can. There's a fascinating and honestly super practical method from the world of neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP, that's designed for this exact purpose, to give you that on-demand control over your own internal state. And it's called stacking anchors. Now, this isn't about just linking one little memory. Nope. It's about collecting several of your most powerful, positive experiences. Those times you felt absolutely unstoppable, or creative, or totally calm, and linking all of them to one single physical trigger. The result? A supercharged on switch for your best emotional self.
I love this way of thinking about it. It's like you're charging a battery. Every single positive memory you connect to that trigger adds more power, more juice, making your anchor incredibly potent and something you can really rely on.
So that sounds pretty awesome, right? But how do we actually build this thing? It might sound a little complex, but I promise it really just boils down to a clear 4-step blueprint. Let's walk through it together.
Here it is. This is our roadmap. First, we got to decide what we want to feel and pick our trigger. Simple enough. Then, we find our first memory and forge that link. After that, we stack on more memories to make it really powerful. And finally, the fun part. We test it out. See? Pretty straightforward. Okay, so for our first step, we have to get specific. Before you do anything else, you need to decide exactly what emotional state you're after. In NLP terms, this is your desired state or your resource. Don't be vague here, be precise.
For example, are you getting ready for a big public speaking gig? You probably want a shot of high self-confidence. Training for a marathon? You're going to need that boundless energy. Or maybe you're just staring at a blank page. Let's anchor some creative flow. Pick the one state that's really going to serve your goal.
Once you know the feeling you want to create, you need the physical switch. This is your anchor, and trust me, choosing the right one is absolutely key. So, your anchor needs to be two things. One, easy to do and, kind of discreet. And two, it has to be unique. You really don't want to accidentally fire off your confidence anchor every time you shake someone's hand. So something like squeezing your thumb and forefinger together or touching one specific knuckle, those are perfect. And now for step 2. This is really the heart of the whole process. I want you to think back to a vivid, specific time when you felt that emotion, that confidence, that joy at its absolute maximum. And don't just remember it. You have to relive it. See what you saw back then, hear the sounds, and really, truly feel what you felt in your body. Now listen up, because timing is everything here. As that incredible feeling builds up and swells and hits its absolute peak intensity, I'm talking a 10 out of 10. That's the moment you fire your anchor. Squeeze your fingers, touch your knuckle, whatever your trigger is. You are literally creating a physical link to that peak emotional state. Hold that anchor for just a few seconds while you're at that peak. And then, this part's crucial. Release the physical gesture before the good feeling starts to fade away. Then break your state. Look around the room, think about what you had for breakfast, anything to completely clear your mind. This is what keeps the anchor clean, pure, and powerful. All right, you've laid the foundation. Now for the stacking part. You've successfully linked one powerful memory. To turn this into a real super anchor, you're just going to repeat that exact same process, but with different memories. And each time, you'll use the very same physical anchor. So maybe that first memory was all about confidence. You link it, then you break your state. Next up, you recall a time of just pure, unadulterated joy. Right at its peak, boom, you fire that same anchor. Break state again. Then you find a memory of absolute courage, and at its peak, you fire that same anchor one more time. You see, you're literally layering these amazing resources on top of each other. And what's happening here is incredible. With each new memory you stack on, the anchor's power grows, like exponentially. One memory is a good start, for sure, but linking 3, 4, even 5 memories to that one trigger, that creates a response that is so potent and so immediate. Okay, and now for the final step, the test drive.
Once you've stacked a few really powerful memories, just take a moment. Go to a neutral state of mind. Think about something totally unrelated. And then, just fire the anchor. Press the spot. Squeeze your fingers.
And what should you feel? It's amazing. It's not just one of the emotions. It should be a powerful, combined state. A rush of all those positive resources. That confidence, that joy, that courage, all flooding back to you at once, triggered by that one simple gesture.
Okay, so you've built it, you've tested it, it works. Now, how do we make sure it shows up for us when it really, really counts? Let's talk about putting this into practice. So the final piece of this puzzle is a little technique called future pacing. This is basically where you do a mental dress rehearsal. You imagine yourself in that upcoming situation. You feel the pressure, you feel the nerves, and then in your mind's eye, you fire your anchor and feel that incredible wave of positive states wash over you. Doing this embeds the tool, so it becomes an automatic, subconscious response right when you need it. So, what does this all really mean? When you follow these steps, you've literally created a powerful tool for yourself. This isn't some kind of magic trick, it's a direct line to your own best internal resources. Carefully collected and stored, ready for you to access at a moment's notice. And that really leaves us with just one final thought. Now that you have the blueprint for your very own emotional remote control, what's the first challenge you're going to conquer? What's the goal you're going to tackle, knowing that you can call up your very best self on demand?